Good day, everyone. It's Saturday right after Thanksgiving, and our bellies were full, and hopefully, you didn't shop till you drop. And we're here for the last episode of the Leadership of Gratitude series. And then we're going to head into relaxation and wellness for the holidays because, life is really hard during the holidays for some of us. So, we're going to do a lot of breath work. We're going to do a lot of But today, I'm so excited. I think of her as a sister. I think of her as like a big, my auntie. I think of her as family. Tish has just got this heart and soul that, like, you don't find on many people. And she's a delight. And so I can't wait to introduce you to Tish McDaniel of Maggie. And she's going to tell us all about her company. She's in the AR and leadership space. And we're going to have this delightful conversation about accommodations, leadership, and the things that leaders need to have, and that we are as being people with disabilities. Because what, you don't think that there's leaders in the disability arena? There's many of us. So I am going to introduce this wonderful human being and have her share her light with you right now. Tish, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Fairy Godmother.
Bibbity bobbity boo.
Yeah, bippity boppity boo. Yes,
Mhm.
Daniel. I am so glad to be here with Roxy. I have known her for several years. We
Mhm.
hung out at a movement maker conference, and we had to show how much fun we have. We had dress up day every day. We had a theme, and and we were the hit of the conference.
Mhm.
And people would go, okay, what's the theme for today? Because there's obviously a theme.
She
And
dressed me. She was my stylist.
that's what I love about Roxy. Roxy is Rocky. Roxy is Rocky. Yeah, there you go. She's a fighter disability advocate. I have been in the human resources space, I tell everyone, since I was about 10 years old because, and I actually created a poem called Anonymous, and it did get published. So I am a
Mhm.
published poet. I saw, felt, and heard such anguish, especially as a 10-year-old. And you look at inclusion and you everything comes out, bullying, harassing, all of that. 10 year olds are that's a tough age, and right now any age is a tough age. And so looking at mainly inclusion, and Roxy, you know, because you and I have collaborated together with another
Mhm.
disability advocate, the Inclusive Dad, and
Mhm.
with Disability Reimagined,
Yeah.
Inclusion Disrupted, because we are disruptors.
Yep.
And I look at inclusion because inclusion is not only in your ability to walk or stand or talk or see, it's also how you feel, how you are treated. And with, as you can see with my red hair, I am excluded in a lot of fashion things because of the red hair, either the blonde or brunette. They get all the press and all and have all the fun. But when you start adding in these other layers of
Mhm.
inclusion and why you're not included, and that has been the biggest driver during my HR career.
Mhm.
We will treat individuals, and everyone thinks, okay, we need to treat them equal. It's fair and equal treatment.
Mhm.
Because if you do for one, then you
Mhm.
do for everyone. When you ask that question, and Roxy, you and I have talked about this before. Someone comes in and wants this, okay, let's talk about this. Let's think about this because if we do for one, we need to do for everyone. And can we do for everyone? And if we can, then hip hip hooray. And
Mhm.
from human resources space is so challenging because Roxy's going, no, I know, she's a
Right. Mhm.
she knows. And I look at all of the things that from a compliance standpoint and then you throw in, we had a conversation last year with an individual. They were so upset about the restrooms at a baseball stadium because
Mm,
they're in a wheelchair. And it's, yes, be upset, talk about it, but talk to those that can do something about it as well.
mhm,
Or codes that say it has to be X number of feet wide, X number of feet tall. So
mhm.
both of those individuals. And Roxy, that's what I love about you because you research and you go straight to the source. You're
Mhm.
not,
Right.
yeah, you're
Be-
not standing there on the corner going, listen to me. This is in
no.
no, you
Because you can't. And if you want to make change or you want to make systematic change, so one networking group embraced me and brought me in and and then they made me the fairy godmother. But another group really embraced me and said, "Wait a minute. We love this. Can we learn more? We want to listen.
listen, there you
We want to be curious and learn." Where the other group might have said, okay, well, we're going to embrace you and we're going to let you have a seat at the table and we like you and we want you to be here. But then the second group opened up the doorway and said, hey, can we listen? Wait, we're going to even take it another step further and we're going to open up the doorway and we're going to write an article about this.
go.
And so, and yesterday, I'm really fascinated and in a movement right now around media
Mhm.
because again 2 to 5% of people with disabilities represented, very small. And I'm like, okay, so where do I go? Do I sit on the sidelines and say, oh, nothing's happening and I have to do it all on my own? Or do I find people to bang on the door and make allies with?
Yeah.
Right. So I contacted one of my colleagues and I said, I want you to be an ally with me. And that person was like, oh, yeah, I'll meet them. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to meet them on your own. There's no more silo in this. We have too much silo in the disability world. And this is a disability advocate. And she's like, no, it's 2 to 5% representation. I might fight for it in the schools and I might fight for it in workplaces. And I'm a lawyer. But this representation that doesn't happen in society, in media, and media is where it's going to be beginning. We can, if we don't get into newspapers, on TV, and show things, how are people not going to be able to see it? Have documentaries and have that information. People need to have that out there, right? People need to know that that exists.
Well, and a lot of the fashion industry, it is a lot of the sports industry, the
Yes.
clothing, have embraced people that are not the 5'10", weighs 100
Mm-hmm.
pounds.
Right?
You see that evolution, which is great. And
Mm-hmm.
being in human resources, that's what I like to see. I like to see the teams that I'm helping, the clients that I'm working with. We don't see age, we don't see race, we don't see the color of your hair, we don't see you're a redhead, height, what, just anything and everything. It's about collaboration. It's about and Roxy, that I think
Mm-hmm.
do a show on listening because
Yes.
people say, I want to be heard, I want to be seen.
Exactly.
I want you to listen. I want you
Right.
to not understand. I want you to comprehend what I'm
Right.
saying.
Hmm.
And you and
Because you may look at you and I, and they don't understand what happened in my brain. I'm wearing pants, leggings. You don't know what's happening in my legs and in the structure of my body.
Mhm.
So whether I'm an able body or not, and you can't see it because I don't have a cane, I don't have a wheelchair, you don't have a cane or a wheelchair. you don't see it, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist and it isn't a hard day for us.
And
Right? So
right,
that needs to be discussed and we need to be able to hear it.
yeah. The the voice and being in HR and
Mm-hmm.
a I am a licensed Zig Ziglar choose to
Hey.
looking at how can we do this together?
Yes.
Can we do this? And you, like you said, picking out the collaborations, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
what I do in my company with clients is that figure that blueprint, figuring out
Mm-hmm.
how are we going to do this. And I also tout myself as a process improvement guru because, and I do have a modified black belt in Lean Six Sigma process improvement. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
You go back to the source and then you come forward. And you and I in our conversations, we're always doing that. Okay, go back to the source to
Right.
understand because you
Right.
have to comprehend. You just have to understand this is how it happened.
Correct.
Start coming forward, you have to start putting people in their swim lanes. And then
Yeah.
and then
Mm-hmm.
how do they cross over? How and you know because you were at the Movement Maker Live conference,
Mm-hmm.
people ask, introduce myself, and I go, okay, I'm a swim coach, I'm a cheerleader, I'm
Mm-hmm.
a rescuer, and some other let's see, it was back in May when we were doing an interview. She said also put firemen because we put out fires.
Oh,
And
all the time.
when you start looking at those things that we do and the collaborations that we do, I love to take clients. I did a sexual harassment training for a client, and totally different than sitting down, reading the pages, taking a test, and
Mm.
a little dialogue. I actually walked around the room and I stopped in front of someone and said, if this happened, if X happened, how would you feel? Number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
what action would you take?
Mm-hmm.
And man, it was mind blowing.
We are all 3 to 5 steps from possibly having the label of disability. Every one of us can move themselves into that minority. And then what? And when society looks down on it, right? Society looks down on it, but then you're in it and now you're like, what am I going to do? So you're correct. If we go back to that listening and these action steps, right? The first you got to listen because then, you're going to gain some information and education. That's important. And then the next piece, you might learn how to accommodate and pivot, accommodate and pivot. Because those steps are all about that digestible action, pivoting, and accommodating.
Mhm.
Because that's what we've learned how to do when you've been in situations. And they're so important with that, to be in it. It's so important to kind of move through those experiences because how else are we going to learn? How else are we going to get there?
Well, and a lot of the work that you do, and a lot of the work that I do in the past and current, same with,
Yes.
is aligning groups toward a shared goal.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read you, this is and I, for the life of me, do not remember who said this. And I'm so good about giving credit where credit is due, but I
It's
couldn't.
okay. The anonymous quote.
Anonymous quote: leadership is the ability to influence, align, and inspire people toward a shared goal. It's a
Yes.
social process.
Hmm.
Individuals work together to achieve results they couldn't accomplish alone.
Correct.
Does that say
And
that a
go
leader
ahead.
has to be the boss? Does it say the leader has to be XYZ?
Nope.
No, because you have leadership like me at 10 years old. You
Correct.
have
My mom plopped me in the room with all of the women who gave up their children for adoption when they were in the late 50s, 60s, that 60s time. And so what was I doing? Listening and observing all of the struggle and mental health and challenges these women were having. And I'm absorbing it as a 10, 11-year-old.
yeah, yeah.
How did you think I became a human service worker? I'm plopped in the room with all these women who are suffering.
Well, but you also, the comprehension, because not that you have to be or have a disability,
Mm,
you have to have the compassion to comprehend. You may not
yes.
understand. There's a lot of things I don't understand, but I do
Right.
comprehend that there is a struggle.
Correct. Yes.
And
100%.
what's interesting when you talked about the you don't see that I have something wrong with my brain on some days, and you don't see my legs, and
Right.
a lot of people don't know this about me, but I don't feel my knees. I
Mm,
don't feel my left leg.
mm.
Right side of my face is still numb.
Mine too.
Now, maybe we're twins. And
My face still hurts every single day when the winter. It hurts so bad.
and that was from 1973 having an
Mm,
offset near fatal head-on collision. I was thrown from the car. So what does that mean? Well, it has taken me quite a number of years to be able to do most of the things that I could do prior to the
mhm,
car wreck. But the thing that is most frustrating is when you go to these conferences and these meetings, and they ask you if you have any food allergies, and they ask you if you have any disabilities.
mhm,
I put down that I can't
mhm,
go up and down stairs often. Well, that they probably laugh at that because it's it's like one of the conferences I went to, we were up and down stairs walking around the city, and it's like I can't do that anymore.
mhm,
I'll just walk back to the hotel. And
mhm,
one of the individuals in the group stepped forward and said, "Come with me and let's find an elevator." And that person will always have
mhm,
my respect and support.
mhm.
If
Yes.
she told me, "Let's fly to the moon," I would probably go with her.
Yes.
And
And yeah. And I mean, I'm happy to hear that even these conferences are even asking
well, and
because, a lot of them don't even know,
no,
don't even think about the adaptability of, well, what would it take to make this adaptable? What would it take to make this, um, what would it take to do all of these things?
the the thing about, and you put on events, I put on events, everybody puts on events.
Right.
And it's not about, oh, we're going to have this fantastic event experience. It's going to be fabulous. When people walk away, it's how they feel and what they remember, how you make them feel.
Correct. Yes.
You could be in a barn
Right.
with no air,
Mm-hmm.
no heat, but if you made them feel like, and I've actually been to a it was a leadership I don't want to call it retreat, but we were in a barn. It was hot. It was miserable. But what we went through and how we felt to that
Mm.
was 20 years ago. To this day, I would say to you that was the best thing I've ever done. And it was
Well,
crazy as conditions.
you know, and some of the mass ability conferences have been my favorite ones. because you're in the room and somebody's greeted you. Somebody made you feel welcome the most when you walked in. I paid for a VIP status at a conference I just went to, a Women's Day conference that I just went to a week and a half ago. Paid for VIP. The woman I walked in, she handed me my thing. I got one little raffle ticket and my name tag. Didn't say VIP. And I was like, well, where's the rest of my raffle tickets? And she's like, those are for VIP. I said, I am one. Needed something else, was going to ask her about my accommodation. She ignored me and went on to the whole rest of the other person. I tell the owner, the person who's running it, and there's to, nobody's responding to the fact that there was nothing welcoming here. There's no response to, hey, I'm having some concerns and I want you to hear me with those concerns. But, at least, you know, I mean, when we go to Movement Baker, at least the vibe is high and everybody's talking and chatting and interacting and somebody's grabbing you in the hallway and it's like it's vibrating, you know? But like I went to that and it was flatter than anything. And the first thing that happens is those are for VIP. Well, I am one. And disability or no disability, darling,
Right,
you
right.
still treat everyone as you be a gracious host. You're hosting something, and you better have the most kindest, friendliest. You need to have fairy godmothers in the front who are going to love on you, hug on you, and take care of you with everything that
Yeah.
they need. Like everything that they need, right? And the fact of the matter that they don't respond to that is challenging. And again, what did we say? It's about this. We can be seen, we could be talking about being seen, heard, and understood. But if we don't do this and
Mhm.
hear someone, we're going to bring you back for that conversation.
Yes, we'll
You
have
know,
a conversation for
we'll
that.
bring you that for back for that conversation because we need to be heard and we need to be listened to. And, I mean, the coaches that I love now, if there is a concern and I bring it up, they're like, oh, yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah. Yes,
And they're not afraid of that confrontation or that dialogue because they want to grow too and prosper. Like, why wouldn't we want to grow and prosper? We need to, like it's important to do that. And the other thing too that I find fascinating, especially in the disability arena, and a lot of the young people that are coming up on this, my encouragement, and I think you would say something about this too, is a lot of people are like, I want to work in disability advocacy. Well, that's really nice.
that's just a label to them.
But that's just a label. Why don't you go and figure out where you can become in belonging
Mhm.
and figure out because leadership and advocacy doesn't only mean that you're working in the bubble of disability,
Right.
right? Well, let's be in spaces that are not.
Mhm.
And let's open up the dialogue. I made it safe in that one networking group, not the one that just listened and said, no, we want to hear you. I made it safe for you to talk about disability in that group.
Yes.
You weren't safe before and you didn't know that you weren't safe. But I opened up a whole thing of safety because I'm like, hi, I'm here and I'm Roxy and I'm disabled. Have a good day. And now I'm like, I'm Roxy and I'm doing some powerful stuff, mamas, And you want to align with me or you just want to keep hearing and listening? Great. But now, more people who have family members, more people who are people with disability, they're talking about it in there.
Mhm.
And that's where I think disability leadership is important because we can't just stay in one space. And I'm sure a lot of the clients that you work in are working in all industries across the board.
Yes, and I do have to tell you this, that two interesting stories. So way back. I always tell everyone 100 years ago because, when you start working when you're 10 years old, it only makes you about 40 or 50 now, right? And
Yes.
so my first job working for a company in my hometown of Manhattan, Kansas. Now I am left-handed. I can predominantly. I also can do things and write and all of that with my right hand, so the ambidextrous. So my first job, and I asked if there was a left-handed calculator, and the manager said, because I'm left-handed, and the manager said, we will have to ask for an accommodation on that. And I said, being left-handed is not a disability.
Right.
I need tools to be able to do my work more efficiently. So that catapulted me into learning, forcing myself to learn how to use the tools in an office that are primarily right-handed.
Right.
And then you look at the keyboards. So many years later, I had this employee that had carpal tunnel and went in for surgery. And and Roxy, that's where you and I could just we could talk for 100 hours straight about these things.
Mm.
And so I wanted to research what was best for him, had him talk to his doctors. I want to make things, and of course, in accommodation in the business world, it's there's laws and
Yep.
there's and I don't want to go into all of that, but there's a give and take on both sides. And so I researched it, he researched it, and so we were able to get the keyboard that's specifically designed for individuals with carpal tunnel.
Yes.
And I know you've seen it. It's kind of a curvy board.
Hmm.
And my God, it was outlandish. It was the most expensive thing that I thought to myself, why? This is crazy.
Right.
So
Right.
he was able to do his work and not only do it more efficiently and
Mhm.
not have, because in carpal tunnel syndrome, you can have relapses. And that's
Yes.
why you need the tools in order to keep you above the line, above the curve. Now, this,
Well, yeah. And, I mean, and back then, all of this stuff was so expensive.
Mhm.
All of this stuff was ridiculous. And it was just so people could be able to do their work efficiently.
Yeah,
And now, look, speech to text is on every phone,
right, right. Look how far we've come, baby.
right? Like, I mean, it's on every phone. And it's like, but I needed that ages ago as my accommodation. And you told me that software was like way too much money. And like now it's everywhere. It's on everything. And like, and now the AIs are going to talk back to us. So, I mean, it's like a lot of accommodations is inclusive design.
I have to tell you this story of a board position.
Mm.
It was for the widget company, which the gentleman, an athlete who ended up having a spinal cord injury. And so I sat on the board. And one of the things I really liked about this gentleman is the fact that he wanted to make not only his life better, but everyone else's life.
Hmm.
It's a device that goes on a wheelchair that you can operate. It's a motorized device, and you operate it, makes it safer for those in a wheelchair.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you don't have the hand burns, you don't have the sudden stopping, and
Hmm.
a lot of the manual. And let's see, let me make sure I get his name correct. Brian Watwood.
Well, thank you, Brian Watwood. We appreciate you.
Yes. And what was so cool about being on the board, because when we had discussions, board meetings, I was on the board not because I'm an engineer, it's like I'm
Mhm.
just here representing HR. And he said the reason why he wanted me on the board was because I was a Live coach. Not that I was
Oh.
FE life coach. And that really made me think about that because that's such a profound statement
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't there to tell them about being a life coach. I was there to say fair and equal treatment. Let's go to the source. Let's look at this. We have to look at compliance. We have to look at the employment laws. We have to look at accommodation. We have to look at everything. And so
Mm-hmm.
that global viewpoint was why I was there. But when he brought it down to the live versus life, I still, when I say that, have to really stop and go, wow, that's huge. That's huge. And so when you look at, because you had asked me the wisdom and good advice for people with disabilities,
Yes.
wisdom and good advice. Wow. You did it to me, Roxy. The the thing that I always tell everyone, be loud and proud,
Mhm.
but be kind.
Yeah,
Be
100%.
Don't be obnoxious. And
Right. 100%.
one thing I love about, and I'm not in network marketing, but I love
Mhm.
to read about and learn from the network marketing gurus because
Mm.
it's all about marketing your product.
Yes.
Well, HR markets the product of being an employee at X company and looking at engagement and performance.
Right.
And so be kind and do your research. Like I
Right.
shared with that gentleman upset about the size of the bathroom stall, I
Right.
get it. But let's talk about how to take action. So, and Roxy, you're really good about telling individuals where they can learn things, how they can get things done. Do that.
Well, one, you have to show up. You can be mad and angry and talk, talk, talk. And that's what happens a lot on TikTok, right? And the reels and all of that. So I've been studying a lot of the disability advocates that are online and they study it. The one thing I know that's different about you and I is that we're doing action, we're doing research, we're finding solutions, we're going after things, and we're showing up. Because you can talk all day long. Oh, this is a problem. This is a problem. Oh, yeah, this is what harmed me. And yeah, I've been there. I've done that.
Yes.
But again, if we want systematic change, you show it, you prove it, you do the research, you find the players, you find the allies, you do research. Because you can sit there and complain about it all day long. Oh, this Dorito bag is so hard for me to open. Well, they should really make me an accommodation to open up the Dorito bag. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So where's the engineer that you're going to find that you're going to get to talk to so they can help you make a device that's going to make your hand dexterity easier to open up not just the Dorito bags, but all of the cookies, anything that you might need for your cooking, all of the things that you need to give you more. But where's the engineer and the accommodation specialist that can help you with that? Because there's a solution to every problem. And if there isn't, go find some people together that we can collaborate with, then we can make those solutions.
Yes. And that's what I love about Todd Falcone. He's one of the best
Yes.
words. He has a book that says go for the no. And
Uh-huh.
you learn when when you go through rejection, you don't take it personally, you don't
Nope.
holler, you don't jump up and down. You just go, okay, how can we take this and put it in a different perspective. Let's go to
Yes.
the source.
Well, and as soon as I more pivoted
Yes.
into just talking about disability, and when I pivoted into fashion, lifestyle, media, people
Yeah.
are like, wait a minute, maybe we want to talk to her. Maybe we need to talk to her. Oh, wait a minute. She's not just saying it because she wants to throw a bunch of hot air at us. Tish, we are going to have you as a repeater. You're going to be back.
Because we're
Can't
running.
wait to have you back. But we're going to have to wrap up.
Yes.
And you already kind of you got a little stumped. One more piece of anything that you feel in HR, within disability world, what can we tell an audience that maybe they're looking for a job? Maybe they're struggling with something. What can we tell them right now to kind of give them a little bit of hope, a little bit of, well, maybe I am a leader and I didn't really think I was.
One of the things I will point out, the sun came out and I had my curtains open in my office. And so it's like, okay, the sun is shining on us, my friend.
Right?
Look at your resources, the
Yeah.
local employment offices. And
Mhm.
you know that, Roxy, you have
I
shared.
worked at it.
Go to your local employment offices, look
Hmm.
at the training, look at the people,
Hmm.
ask for groups. There are groups all over local
Yes.
communities. The alignment, that collaboration, and
Yes.
in this I've got to say, because I wrote this about you.
Uh-oh.
Collaboration, well, both of us, quite frankly, we've collaborated on things. Collaborations with individuals in different industries,
Hmm.
aligning groups toward a shared goal. If they keep
Hmm.
that in mind, if
Hmm.
they are an advocate for themselves
Yes.
first,
Yeah.
advocate for yourself first, then
Yeah.
go out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Tish, again, you're going to be a repeater, and I'm so grateful for your time today. We could probably do a 3-hour segment, and we probably should. And I'm hoping someday it'll be in person. This is again Roxy B. Rocker with Embracing What's Possible. And, I always want you to start thinking about, what do you want out of life? What do you believe that maybe you could have, even if it's a small step? What if you're just making dog walking fun for your neighborhood? Or when the weather gets nice in your neighborhood, because we're getting into winter in the East Coast and other places around the world, that you have a gardening group. What if you just all love to sit around and have tea?
Mhm.
You made your own Embracing What's Possible, because just like we're saying, we're making shared community. And if you do all of this alone, you're going to feel alone. You're going to feel vulnerable. But if we collaborate and get together, you're going to find more of that what's possible, because then you'll have somebody to tell these ideas, these stories, and have shared ideas and beliefs with. And that's what Tish and I did today. So you'll see our girl again very soon. I'm really looking forward to spending the holidays with you, relaxing and being in more restful spaces. And then we'll get back into some of these conversations again in the new year. This is Roxy B. Rocker, your host of Embracing What's Possible. I'm so glad you tune in. Please share with a friend and reach out to Tish with Maggie, or Embracing Disability, where we work on issues around the world, that in the world that doesn't fit us, but we also learn how to embrace what's possible in multiple ways. Thank you again for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season, and please feel free to tune in while we take a rest and learn how to breathe better. We'll talk soon, and thanks again for joining us.
I'm embracing what's possible, heart open wide, where fear used to whisper, now love is my guide. I'm not just surviving. This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.